He got it.
Be careful with what you wish for.
Yes. For sure. For sure.
Gervonta Davis, known as one of the most explosive and feared lightweights in modern boxing, hasn't shied away from talking about a potential fight with Manny Pacquiao. While he acknowledges Pacquiao's legendary status, Davis confidently believes the matchup wouldn't pose a major challenge. His stance isn't rooted in disrespect, but in the mindset of a fighter who sees today's generation as faster, stronger, and more explosive. For Davis, who is currently in his physical prime, facing a 46-year-old Pacquiao would be more than just a big fight. It would be a chance to prove generational dominance and cement his legacy.
Just saying him and then he fighting somebody like Pacquiao will give me hope for sure. It doesn't matter who I fight. It doesn't matter. As long as I put on a great performance whoever I fight, it doesn't matter. I don't believe that it's...
After announcing his return fight against Mario Barrios, Manny Pacquiao took a cautious but open approach when asked about future opponents like Ryan Garcia. While he emphasized taking things one step at a time, he didn't rule out the possibility, sparking speculation about a potential multi-fight comeback, depending on how he performs against Barrios.
Manny, when you beat Barrios, what's next? Are you going to fight Ryan Garcia, Haney, Lopez, Gervonta Davis? Are you ready to go through these fights?
One at a time.
But you want those guys.
We'll see. I always, I cannot say after this, I'm going to fight like that, but one at a time. After the fight, we can see, we can talk like...
In his interviews, Manny Pacquiao has consistently shown that he doesn't back down from challenges, even at an age when most boxers have already retired.
Any possibility that you would go back in the ring and fight someone like a Tank Davis?
If he wants, and if he come up to 147, then we can fight.
He can't meet you at 140?
145 maybe. It's not a problem for me. I'm experienced fighter, so...
Before officially announcing his return, Pacquiao mentioned potential opponents like Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Conor McGregor, highlighting both his competitive drive and business sense. When asked about fighting Davis, Pacquiao said if Davis moves up to 147, the fight could happen, adding that 140 or 145 wouldn't be a problem given his experience. These names reflect Pacquiao's interest in big, exciting matchups with massive pay-per-view appeal.
So I'm not sure how true this is, but supposedly Manny Pacquiao's coming out of retirement. And these are the three names that he's interested in fighting. And now of these three names, which one do you think is the best matchup? Conor McGregor? That would just be a money grab. Everyone knows Manny Pacquiao's skill level is way above Conor's. Tank Davis? Nah, Manny Pacquiao would get knocked out by Tank Davis. I'm telling you right now, Tank would catch him, and Manny's going night-night. Now, Ryan Garcia is the fight that makes the most sense in my opinion. If you guys remember, this fight was heavily rumored at one time, and I think it might even been booked at one time, but it fell through at the last minute. And it makes the most sense to happen. Ryan Garcia is a big name currently in boxing. Style-wise, they match up perfectly, and it's a fight that could go either way. If Ryan Garcia wins, he adds a big name like Manny Pacquiao on his resume, and I know he's coming out of retirement, but still, that's Manny Pacquiao. And if Manny Pacquiao wins, he adds to his legacy and inserts himself right back in the title run. So again, these are just rumors, and I don't know if Manny Pacquiao's really out of retirement. But if he is, the fight that makes the most sense is Ryan Garcia.
Industry insiders say a Davis versus Pacquiao fight isn't just fantasy. Both camps are open to talks if Pacquiao looks sharp against Barrios. For Davis, facing a legend like Pacquiao would be a major boost to his profile.
So basically, your interpretation is that the boxing public is upset because they believe Pacquiao's going to beat Barrios, which is going to lead to a Tank Pacquiao fight?
Yes, look around. Look in the Discord. That's what everybody, Pac and Tank, that's being set up.
Oh,
Tank
so,
and Pac.
okay, so they saying Barrios is the setup for Tank and Pac. I didn't see that, but your argument makes sense. If he beats Barrios, there's nothing wrong with him fighting Tank. But the issue is he don't deserve the Barrios fight off of 3 years off and a loss to Ugas.
And that's Crimea River, man. That's what boxing is. But longer deserve a Canelo fight?
I'm just gonna rub it in. Pause. I remember saying when Tank couldn't get a fight in, I was saying Shakur shouldn't have signed that deal with Matchroom if he wanted to fight Tank. Lomachenko, I said he ducked. But then when he couldn't find a fight, I said, hey, fight Manny Pacquiao. The reason why I said fight Manny Pacquiao at 144 was, number one, you can get the sensationalism and the crazy hype shit of a Jake Paul fight, right? It got the money grab on. On top of that, though, he can prepare for 140 by fighting Manny at 144, get a training camp in at your weight class. Then he could come down from 144 and fight Tio at 140. Everybody said that don't make sense, Biz. Tank fight Lamont Roach, take a knee, draw, grease in the eye.
MMA legend Khabib Nurmagomedov recently voiced his frustration with modern boxing, criticizing it for prioritizing spectacle over substance. He pointed to matchups like Pacquiao versus Barrios as examples of a system driven more by big names and profits than by fair competition or fighter safety.
Winner versus winner, they make this, and if we watch box, like how many years we're waiting, like Pacquiao versus Mayweather, how many years we're waiting, Wilder versus Tyson Fury, they have like 100-0, 100-0, like people beg, hey, please make this fight, and it's like...
Boxing legend and promoter Oscar de la Hoya expressed concern over Pacquiao's decision to return at 46, warning that training for a high-level fight at that age is tough and recovery takes much longer. He believes Pacquiao's body needs rest, not another intense training camp.
You're 46 years old. You have to remember that. So give your body some rest. Rest right now is Manny Pacquiao's friend in between training, in between sparring sessions. There's no shame in taking a day off or two, Manny. Trust me. Let your body relax, let your body rest. He'll do fine. He's experienced, he's got obviously the power, because it never leaves you. The speed I'm a little worried about, but I think, look, Barrios is a live dog. He's a world champion and he's no slouch. So I think it's gonna be a good fight. I wish Manny all the best. I'm not sure who's gonna win. I really haven't seen Barrios, but I think Barrios, the youth is obviously with him in his corner.
Rising star Jesse Bam Rodriguez acknowledged Pacquiao's legendary career, but predicted a one-sided fight in favor of Barrios. He believes youth activity and hunger often outweigh even the experience of boxing greats.
I think Mario is gonna go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but he's a legend. He already did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But if he wants to get in the ring with Mario, then I guess Mario has to show him that youth. He has a youth, and Manny Pacquiao should have just stayed retired.
Yeah. That's what a lot of fans are saying, and are still kind of disbelief. But even looking at social media and the fans, they're thrilled just to see him back. So just to have him in the ring, and fighters at that age are not competing.
I think that just says a lot about the type of fighter Manny Pacquiao is, the stardom he has. He's what, 46, 47?
He's 46.
And people are still excited to see him fight. So, that just says a lot about him and what he's done in his career. So, like I said earlier, to see a friend I grew up with fight Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be pretty cool. And it's the same night. So, it's a huge night for San Antonio boxing.
Barrios' advantages in age, height, and reach could play a major role in the fight. At 28, he's more active, sharper, and physically fresher. His longer reach may help him control the pace and keep Pacquiao at a distance, while capitalizing on openings.
So breaking news, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is official for July 19th in Las Vegas for Barrios' WBC welterweight title. After 4 years off from pro boxing, Pacquiao will try to become the oldest active world champion in boxing at 46 years old and one of the oldest champions in boxing history. Now, this fight has been rumored for quite a while. They tried to make it last year after Pacquiao had an exhibition with Rukia Anpo, but they were never able to finalize a deal. But earlier this year, they re-entered negotiations and they finally made it official now. Now, in terms of the fight itself, Barrios, he's going to have a huge age and size advantage. The guy is 29 years old, right in his physical prime. He's probably going to weigh around 160, 165 pounds on the night of the fight. Whereas Pacquiao, like I said, he's 46 years old. He won't weigh over 145 pounds on the night of the fight. And Barrios, he's just going to try to stay behind the jab and the straight shots and use that youth to win in the fight. Now, what I will give Pacquiao is he does have a huge IQ advantage. And Barrios' defense didn't look that great in his last fight. But still, the age is the main factor. But you guys let me know. Are you excited for Manny's return, or is it too risky at his age?
Trainer Robert Garcia praised Pacquiao's legendary career, but emphasized the harsh impact of age. Despite Pacquiao staying in shape during retirement, Garcia warned that aging slows reflexes, endurance, and recovery, crucial elements in boxing. Like many in the sport, he respects Pacquiao, but worries the comeback may do more harm than good.
Retirement. Well, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with PBC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, getting another title opportunity, just the name obviously, but I really believe that, Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little, I don't want to say sad because he's going to make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for, I'm just 4 years older, 3-4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're gonna get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were when you were in 20s and 30s.
You think it's impossible for him to beat Mario Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. He that he should have that power. Barrios is big and a strong boy, so I don't see that happening. But is it possible? Anything's possible. George Foreman did it. There's been others that do it. But I really don't see it happening.
But Pacquiao's speed's the name of his game. Do you think he doesn't have that? There's no way he didn't have the same speed as before.
There's no way, bro. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen his last performance.
The exhibition where against that big guy.
It was actually embarrassing to see that shit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
If Pacquiao wins, what does that do for him? Where does that put him all time?
Hell, come on. At that age, after like a few years, I don't know how many years he's been off, that'd be impressive. It's hard to think it's gonna happen, but that shit would be nice, man. It would be nice. Very few have done it, and he's actually one that could do it.
Pacquiao, he's probably top 5 all time, one of the greatest fighters.
Several experts have raised concerns about Pacquiao's health, noting that a 5-year break from competitive boxing, especially at age 46, is a major risk, given the sport's harsh nature. Many fear his return could lead to serious injury. History shows that comebacks at this age often end in lasting damage, adding to the growing scrutiny surrounding the fight.
Because what's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that could happen in boxing. We've seen this. Manny Pacquiao isn't immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold. I thought when he got knocked out by Marquez, I thought he died. It was that scary.
Yeah.
Remember that one? So
I do.
Ultimately, I'm most surprised that if it hasn't been officially announced, if it lands in Nevada or California, I'll be very surprised and dare I say disappointed.
Though Pacquiao's legacy is unquestioned, his return has split the boxing world. Many fans feel he has nothing left to prove and fear a poor showing could damage his legacy. To them, chasing titles at this stage risks both his health and the image of a once unbeatable champion.
Since being a world champion means you are the best in the world. You are the champion of this world at your weight class. We all know right now, at least to me, it's common knowledge, that's Jaron Boots Ennis. At 147, he is the best in the world. But he doesn't hold all 4 belts, so he is only one of the 2 or 3, I guess now, world champions. Doesn't make sense to me, and especially when now you're the WBC and you're like, yeah, let's bring in Manny Pacquiao to potentially win a world championship. And let's say he pulls it off by some miracle. Are we going to put Manny Pacquiao in there with Boots Ennis? Is that what we're going to do? I hope not. And again, this is not me trying to be a hater. It's just, I don't want to see Manny get hurt. And Barrios, not the biggest puncher in the world, but he can hurt it badly because he is a volume puncher and he will be in there against a guy that, again, isn't a natural 147. Even if he finished his career at 147, that's not where Manny was his best self. He's definitely going to be at a massive size disadvantage here. Height, reach, everything. Again, when Manny was in his prime, or, honestly, when he was still in his late 30s and early 40s before he retired, he could have handled that. His speed was still there. The consistency was still there. He wasn't running for political office and doing all this other stuff and taking time off. We see this time and time again. When a boxer retires, takes a long time off, and then comes back, it usually, again, outside of George Foreman, rest in peace to the GOAT, it usually doesn't go well. And I don't think this is going to either. And it's clear to me that this is done for, a staging of an event versus the actual competitive nature of the fight. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and that Manny still has it, but I'm just going to go with what makes the most sense. The WBC and whoever they partner with on this is going to try to sell tickets off of it. Okay, that's fine. But what's the point of the belt if this is the match? What are you saying?
Criticism isn't aimed at Pacquiao alone. Some analysts also question Barrios' choice to fight someone well past their prime. They argue it's less about elite competition and more about gaining prestige with minimal risk, making the bout seem ethically questionable rather than a true test of skill.
Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao are in talks for the WBC welterweight title fight. They want to do it in Vegas. Pacquiao is 45 and hasn't competed since August 2021 in a decision loss. Mario Barrios is definitely trying to stat pad at this point. In a stacked welterweight division, you can fight Crawford. If you don't want to fight someone who's coming off a W, fight Spence Jr. Go fight Jaron or Stanius, you know? Fight one of the top 4 fighters. You're ranked top 5 and you want to fight Manny Pacquiao. That's stat padding. That shouldn't even count as a win. And I love Manny Pacquiao, but I mean, in his prime, he would definitely be Mario Barrios, but it's past his prime. Hasn't fought in 3 years. Is 45 years old. It's time to hang it up, bud. I will say, though, if he somehow miracle pulls it off, it'll be the greatest win, I think, in my opinion.
As the fight draws near, debate is heating up. Not just about the possibility of defeat, but the risk of serious injury or a brutal knockout. Some analysts believe the bout should never have been approved and urge boxing authorities to reconsider their standards for sanctioning fights involving aging fighters.
So Manny Pacquiao is going to get knocked out by Mario Barrios. And I get it, like, Mario Barrios is, like, far from a good fighter. Mario Barrios is one of the worst champions in all of boxing, but Manny Pacquiao is so old, bro. I think a lot of you guys forget Manny Pacquiao fought last year and he arguably lost to, like, a Muay Thai kickboxer dude. Like, this dude wasn't even a boxer. Yes, he was really big, but the dude was just not a boxer. Honestly, I think the WBC should call this fight off. I think it's not too late to kind of go back on your word and let's call this one off. This fight should not be sanctioned by anybody. This fight should not be allowed. At least Mario Barrios should be stripped of his WBC title for defending it against a 46-year-old. Is there a slim chance Manny Pacquiao is able to outmaneuver him and maybe outpoint him, punch, around him? Yeah, maybe. But realistically, it won't happen. But if he does, I think it will solidify him as the greatest boxer of all time. No questions about it. I think if he does win this fight, it would put him clearly over Ali, Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, and Floyd Mayweather. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on how y'all feel about this fight.
Unlike exhibition fights, Pacquiao's return is being treated as a serious title run, drawing criticism from purists who feel it undermines competitive integrity. Unlike Tyson or Paul, who never fought for titles, Pacquiao is set to challenge Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight belt, blurring the line between sport and spectacle. Scheduled for August 3rd, 2025, the fight has become one of boxing's most talked about events. Backed by the WBC, the card is packed with rising stars and explosive matchups, offering fans a night of high-stakes drama and nostalgia as Pacquiao aims for a final triumphant chapter.
So the Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios card is announced, and it's pretty stacked. So opening up the card, it's Pitbull Cruz versus Angel Fierro 2. And this is a rematch of one of the best fights of the year so far. They originally fought in the Benavidez Morel undercard, and Cruz started off strong with his jab and walking Fierro down, but Fierro dug deep, grew out some great exchanges, so they decided to run it back. Then featured bout, Brandon Figueroa versus Joet Gonzalez. Figueroa, the former WBC champion at featherweight, but just lost his belt to Stephen Fulton. But these are now two top contenders at 126 pounds. Then co-main event, it's another fun rematch. Sebastian Fundora versus Tim Tszyu 2. The last time it was a bloody war. Tszyu walking forward, got elbowed and got cut open, but still had some great exchanges. Fundora landed some nasty uppercuts, and they're running it back for Fundora's title this time. And then the main event, Manny Pacquiao makes his return to challenge Mario Barrios for his WBC welterweight title. Pacquiao trying to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion. Barrios gets the biggest fight of his career so far. 4 really good fights on these card, and they should all be